Hello guys, it's D to the B here. If you remember a while back, I did reveal some deleted scenes and deleted projects that were going to be Transformer stories for the Transformer story universe. And I figured since I did that, I would do a bunch of other deleted scenes. I actually started saving more deleted scenes for this kind of stuff. Today we're going to do Transformers Rise of Dark Energon. That was the film me and L to the C did. And I'm going to basically discuss about the movie. So we got our first couple of deleted scenes. These were from an earlier version of the movie where we did not have the special effects. But after the Force Unleashed 3 fan film, L to the C decided, let's start over with the project and use the special effects, which I completely agreed with. And also, L to the C convinced me to get Production Create, which kind of has improved D to the B a little bit. But this first deleted scene from Transformers Rise of Dark Energon, the original version, was, if I'm remembering right, this was the opening to the movie. So let's begin with that. Yeah, that did not age well for D to B standards. Yeah, this was originally before we started using iMovie to record like audio, because the stop motion app we use has a microphone, and we decided to use it, and we were playing the clip off of our phone, so it made it really hard to line up the lines perfectly. But anyway, let's continue on to the next scene. This was Optimus versus Megatron. Now, this was a replication of the Revenge of the Fallen fight, which, of course, we ran into the same issues as the Megatron thing, where it's terrible audio quality and the camera is shaking. So, yeah, this is Optimus Prime versus Megatron Battle 1. Alright, so the next scene we had was with the character of Stinger. Now, he didn't do much in this scene, to be honest. It was just him driving. It was L to the C's idea. And yes, Stinger was originally supposed to be a part of this film, but I guess we forgot about him when we were filming the rest of the film, and he doesn't show up. We're going to have to bring him back for a future sequel. I definitely think that would be a good idea, but let's get into the Stinger footage. Yeah, very short scene. But anyway, the next scene we got is with the character of Shadow Rider, or as I originally thought, Shadow Raider. It turns out it's pronounced Shadow Rider instead of Shadow Raider. I think Shadow Raider sounds better, but that's just me. But originally he was supposed to be the main villain of this film. We were using lockdown audio. And of course, this is a replication scene of the scene where Optimus gets abducted by Lockdown. So here's Shadow Raider abducting Optimus.
I feel sorry for you, Prime. Your allegiance to these humans. The trouble with loyalty to a cause is that the cause will always betray you. Who sent you here? Where do you think you came from? You think you were born? No. You were built. And your creators want you back. We all work for someone.
So yeah, he was supposed to be the main villain of the film. But now, on to the next scene. This scene was just a scene where Jazz and Ironhide were talking. Now, from what I'm remembering right, when we were filming the original version of this film, Bumblebee would have went missing, which is an interesting concept, I will admit that. And yeah, just here's the scene.
What about Bumblebee? We can't just leave him to die.
Yeah, not very much context. We didn't get really into the full thing since the whole original film was abandoned, but here is a scene that we did film. I can't remember if this was my idea or L to the C. So this scene was Ironhide versus a Dread. Now, I think we both liked this scene, or maybe it was just me who liked this scene, but it was like Ironhide versus a Dread, and Ironhide, of course, kills the Dread. Here's the clip to show you. Yeah, big long gap and that static noise. It was not very good. All right, so this next deleted scene was Megatron's death, which was taken from the Dark of the Moon film, the audio, and yeah, I'll just let the clip play.
All I want is to be back in charge. Besides, who would you be without me, Prime? Time to find out.
Yeah, not very great. Because again, we just recorded off the stop motion app, and at the time, we weren't really getting good at the lining them up correctly. So, yeah, it didn't match completely. I think we eventually gave up on that. I remember L to the C got very frustrated when the audio wouldn't finish because we didn't take enough frames, which I think many of us have had that issue. I certainly have. And then you would have to start over from scratch. It's frustrating. It's the stop motion process. But here is the next scene. Now, this scene was Shadow Rider and Megatron, even though I really want to call him Shadow Raider. Originally, L to the C had the idea of Shadow Rider being the villain of the film, like he was in charge of the Decepticons. Now, I found this as a weird concept, but granted, I've been just used to Megatron always being the leader, or at least Starscream trying to be a leader, and then fail immediately and get bumped back to his job, or being killed. So this audio for Megatron was taken from the Revenge of the Fallen film, where he was talking to the Fallen, so here you go.
My master failed you on Earth. The Allspark is destroyed, and without it, our race will perish.
Yeah, that seems still weird to me this day. But now let's get into the next scene that was deleted, which was Jazz's death. Now, yes, we did use the idea of Jazz's death. Megatron kills him. We even used the same audio. I know that's the most controversial thing in the Transformers community, is they shouldn't have killed off Jazz, which I kind of do agree with. But with the limited cast, I guess they had no choice or something. But here is the clip itself.
Oh, God, Megatron, come here. You want a piece of me? You want a piece? No, I want two.
Now, if I'm remembering right, what the version LDC wanted for the original take of the movie was he wanted Megatron to stab Jazz, but I think we had issues keeping Jazz on the Megatron sword, so that did not work out very well. Alright, the next scene is Optimus Prime versus a Dread, which the audio is taken from the Transformers The Last Night. I know the worst Transformers movie, but it's in there. I think this was when we still kind of liked The Last Night, and then realized it was a trash fire like years later, but I honestly can't remember. But anyway, here is Optimus versus a Dread.
Did you forget
who I am. I am Optimus Prime.
Yeah, if I'm remembering right, I was a bit iffy on that scene. But I wasn't the one directing it, so I didn't have complete control. I did suggest some things here and there. But continuing on, the next scene was Jazz and Optimus talking, and I think it kind of continued on. I think it was actually before, where it was Jazz worrying about Bumblebee, and he's talking to Optimus. And here's the clip.
Optimus. Are we just gonna stand here and do nothing?
Yeah. And I always remember making the joke after Jazz said that every single time we would watch what we have in the movie so far, I would go like, yeah, in Optimus Prime's voice, just for some silly reason. Alright, this next scene, it's just another Stinger scene. Roll the clip. Yeah. And that's pretty much it for the original version of the movie. Now we're into the part where we were like editing the movie, like the new way with like the green screen and all that. Now here's a deleted scene from the final battle. This was originally called Skytread versus Ironhide, which I'm just going to talk through the recording since the original audio was lost. But in this take, it was like Ironhide was fighting Skytread, and Skytread was just doing this monologue explaining how he's been waiting for the day to finally face Ironhide. And of course, Ironhide would just get annoyed and then decide to just shoot Skytread, as we saw here. Now, the reason this scene was cut was because the final battle was getting too long, to be honest. Like, I wanted to try to make it like a 5-minute final battle, but it was just too long and it needed to be cut from the film. So, yeah, unfortunately, that take never made it into the original movie, which was a shame, but oh well. Anyway, the next deleted scene is now this next scene, which I'm also going to talk about. The clip is playing since there was no voicing at all for it. Is this scene where a Decepticon approaches this human, and I think it's Ireland, if I'm remembering right. And then we transition to the news people with the police officer and whoever that guy is, and they're basically just discussing like Decepticons and all of that. Now, this really didn't fit into the plot. It was a scene suggested by LDC, but as we went on, the scene ended up fading into black, and honestly, I kind of forgot to put it in the movie, so that's why it's not in there. Personally, I think it's better without it, but anyway, the next scene was an alternate ending to the film, the ending to the modified version. The ending is pretty similar to the ending we got, but some audio was changed. This was my own kind of ending. I kind of wanted to make it different, but LSC wanted to use the speech from Transformers 4, so this film... Oh yeah, we really never saw this ending, which is a shame. There are also some bonus things added in, like, for example, Jetfire and Warpath did make a cameo into this scene, and I think Prowl as well. Here's the original ending, the D the B ending of the movie. Here you go.
There are mysteries to the universe we were never meant to solve. But who we are and why we are here are not among them. Those answers we carry inside. I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message. Though we did not choose to be of Earth, it would seem that we are here to stay. If you approach this planet with hostile intent, know this. We will defend ourselves. We will defend humanity. We will defend our home.
So yeah, that was the original ending. Here is also a bonus scene from after Megatron arrived on Earth. Now, this scene was unfortunately cut for the same reason that the Skytread and Ironhide scene was cut. There was too much, it was getting too long, so it ended up being cut. It was basically just Megatron scanning his jet form that he had in the final battle. It's something that would have been nice to have, but it's not necessary at the same time, so yeah. Anyway, I think that's about it for the deleted scenes. Some scrapped concepts like originally Lockdown was going to be the villain of this movie, both the old version and the version we ended up getting, but Lockdown was very hard to find, so we never really got to do that, which of course he's teased in the first film of being the villain in the second movie, which is still being worked on. So yeah, what was another? Oh yeah, there was also a deleted scene with Dropkick and Shatter. They were getting like chased by Decepticons. Well, no, not Decepticons, by humans. And there were like these explosions, which was just a PNG photo because we didn't have special effects properly at the time, and they were just running. It was kind of funny, but it ended up never making it into the film. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed these deleted scenes, and I'll see you in the next deleted scene video. Have a nice day, guys.